back to another episode of For the Love of Film. I am Worth Burroughs.
And I'm Gabe Thorpe.
And we talk about movies and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you like movies if you're watching this.
Yes, I would be concerned if you're watching something that you don't want to watch.
So, Gabe, how was your week?
My week was good. Just the schoolwork, pretty easy breezy, you know what
Beautiful.
I'm saying?
Cover girl.
Yes.
All right.
In terms of like entertainment, one of my neighbors has been He's been getting me and my roommate to watch a lot of anime that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
He got us to binge all of Devilman Crybaby.
I've heard it's good.
It's devastatingly good.
Devastatingly?
Yes.
Okay, well, my
Yes.
friend who's really into anime, and like he's always texting me, like, you gotta watch this. And I'm like, yo, I don't have time for this. Because I'm still trying, I'm trying to watch every movie ever made before I die. And
Right.
and he's like,
Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but like the last 3 episodes is probably peak in terms of just like.
I really want to watch Cowboy Bebop. That's the only one
That's
that
another
appeals
thing.
to me, like, probably out of the most.
No,
But
I'm still a normie when it comes to this world because I did not watch anime almost at all in high school. So just like
I
getting in
still
here,
haven't
and
really watched much. I watched Dragon Ball Z. That was pretty much it.
I've watched like a solid like 5 like full series, and they're only like a season long, all of them.
Yeah.
And so like, and this is all stuff that he's been showing me.
Okay. But let's
And
get
it's all
on.
good.
But we talk about movies.
Yes.
We talked about your week. There's some other stuff that happened in the movies this week. What happened this week?
The Oscars.
The Oscars were this week. The 2018 Oscars. How did you feel about it? Did you watch any of it?
I didn't watch any of it. No, I was doing homework.
Yeah, that's probably the most responsible thing to do. I didn't.
I don't blame you.
Or
Did you not watch it, or did you?
No, I did watch most of it
Right.
anyway.
Shape of Water being getting Best Picture. How do you feel?
I still haven't seen it yet. I really wanted
Me
to watch
neither.
it. But I mean, it was a limited release, and then it was really
then it
hard.
wasn't.
Yeah, and I'm always in small towns. I'm never like in a metropolitan area. So yeah, but I mean, I really like Guillermo del Toro
And now, like,
I like
so
him
isn't it?
because he's like
the
he just
Three
does whatever he
Amigos
wants.
Is like the troupe of directors, Alfonso Cuarón, Guillermo del Toro, and someone else.
Alejandro Inarritu.
Iñárritu.
Which is,
They've
like,
all
your guy.
received Best Director.
Yep.
For each time in the past 5 years.
Yep.
Which is fun.
The Hispanic community is getting representation in the film world.
Whoa!
At least the males anyway.
Plus Iñárritu and like.
That guy's so cool.
Del Toro.
Even if you don't like his movies, that guy's like the coolest dude ever.
Iñárritu or Del Toro?
Inarritu. And then
Del Toro as well.
And then Del Toro, you just want to give a big hug.
Del Toro like made a cameo on It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, he's cool.
I
Because that's what I like about him. That
he
he's
played
like,
like some crazy hobo guy.
what time did we start?
8:17.
8:17.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's what I like about Guillermo del Toro because he doesn't take himself too seriously. Because that's what I felt about Steven Spielberg. He's like, I want Oscars now, and then he
Yeah.
started making all these historical dramas. Whereas Guillermo del Toro is like, all right, I'm gonna make this serious thing. All right, now I'm gonna go make Pacific Rim about big robots beating on monsters, and I don't care. He's like, because it's just what I'm feeling right now. He's just
Right.
like, because it seems fun. But yeah, he won. It's cool. Get Out won Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, which is good.
Terrific.
I saw all these pictures of
Did you watch Get Out yet?
what?
Did you watch Get Out?
No. I had a chance to, and it's all my fault.
Yeah.
Cause like, the choice
do
one
own it
night
on
was
Blu-ray.
either what?
I do own it on Blu-ray. If you want to
No.
borrow it.
I probably will at some point. No, like
It's solid.
one night it was just a choice between should I watch Get Out or should I watch a lot of old SpongeBob episodes, and I made my decision,
You were an irresponsible adult.
and I don't stand by it.
Yeah, no,
But-
it's good. Like aside from like it gets a lot of hype for the social stuff, but beyond that, like it's just a really good movie.
Right.
Yeah, that one. What else won? I wasn't so into the Three Billboards people winning.
Oh, well,
Both categories for the actors for the best
Right.
lead, I think. Or
Did you hear about Frances McDormand's Oscar got stolen for a sec?
I heard about it. Yeah, that's for the
It was-
Fargo Oscar.
And I don't know if they caught the guy. Yeah, for not Fargo. It was for her best actress Oscar.
In Fargo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
No, not for Fargo. For this one.
No, I thought she she won Best Actress for Fargo, and that one got stolen.
No,
And
no.
then they were
How
like,
did she get an Oscar for Fargo?
Because she won for Fargo. It's
Like-
her second Academy Award. So that's why, her long-lost Oscar has finally returned. That's what I saw. It's because she won another Oscar, so she got her Oscar
Is there
back.
another movie named Fargo that I did not know about?
With Frances McDormand? She's the lead character
I
in
thought
Fargo.
that was Three Billboards.
And Fargo from the 1990s.
She didn't get an. How did she get an Oscar for a movie that came out in the 90s?
Because she was acting back then. And she was in the movie. She's well into her 50s, Gabe.
But
What is your logic right now?
My
She's
logic
the
is
protagonist of Fargo.
why are they giving out Oscars for movies that came out over 20 years ago?
She got it when it came out. She
Oh.
won Best
No, no,
Actress
no,
in the
no, no,
90s.
no, no, no.
And then someone
No,
stole
it was she. I must be thinking about someone else then.
I'm pretty sure that
'Cause-
one got stolen, the one she won in the 90s. And so
No.
that was the thing. That's what I thought I had read. So she won this one, and it was like her Oscar has returned in the form of she just won another one.
No, oh no, that's why. No, it was this Oscar. It was her Three Billboards Oscar that got stolen by some random dude,
Yeah.
and somehow it got returned.
Okay.
So she got it later that night, but
Okay.
someone stolen it, and he's still on the run as far as I could tell. We got sidetracked because
Yeah.
we haven't even mentioned what we're going to be talking about.
The Blade Runner franchise.
and Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, the franchise.
Oh,
Yeah, because I don't own 2049 yet, but when I do
I've seen
buy
it.
that,
I do.
it's gonna be but you
I
gotta
own
own
it digitally.
digital copy. It's not real.
21st century,
Yeah.
boy.
You gotta get that Blu-ray in 4K, even though I don't have 4K stuff, but I will someday. But probably not, because by the time I make enough money to buy stuff like that, it'd probably be outdated. But yeah, both of these movies could be
Are good.
considered, they're fantastic and could be considered masterpieces. Like, this is a game changer for science fiction right here with
Even-
Harrison Ford. A lot of people aren't fans of it. It's kind of slow.
Mhm.
It's a slow burn.
The original theatrical cut of the first one's pretty cheesy.
It is pretty cheesy, the final cuts. This is the final cut right here. Is what I own.
Not significantly better.
It is significantly better, I
Just
think.
like cut out the narration.
Yeah, I'm not into the narration at all.
I'm okay.
But,
with
you
it.
know,
I'm
there
not
are-
like it's bad.
There are
I
definitely
recognize that. But
parts of this movie that just like they're very powerful. First of all, like the set design is like one of the best in any movie ever.
if you hate the
'Cause-
set design, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, because I mean, most of all of this is like practical effects, and it looks like they built an entire world from scratch to make this movie right here. But so many amazing parts of it, and you go back. It's one of those movies that most of the time, most people who watch it like, it's like you want to like it, but you don't. But if you watch it a few times, you will after a while. And there's different things you pick up on it. They had a lot of subtlety in it. The Tears in the Rain speech is one of the best in movie history.
Yes. And that
I
was
love it.
improvised too. Well, not improvised, but more or less. It wasn't in the script.
I don't know. I feel like everything that's ever happened good in a movie, someone's like, that's improvised. Improve our PR.
Well,
Because people like that.
The story behind it is that.
Also,
what
don't
was
feel
in
like
it- what was in
pranks.
this-
You ever heard about pranks on set? I don't believe any of that happens because they say you're so stressed out making a movie. They're like, yeah, Jared Leto was peeing on my Cheerios to make Suicide Squad. I was like, they just made that up
Well,
because they thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I was like,
Maybe.
Jared
No, but-
Leto's getting it if he's peeing on my Cheerios before.
What happened was he mentioned that the actual original speech was a bit longer
Yeah.
and it was much more theatrical and dramatic, and he thought this is too operatic. This is too over the top. I'm just gonna shorten it and I'm just gonna shorten it and keep it less dramatic. And it ended up having so much more weight that when he actually did do it on the spot, he didn't tell anyone. Like people they were crying.
Yeah, no, it's good, and it applies, it's a lot about humanity in a lot of ways, and it's way more about humanity than it is replicants. And for some of those who are not familiar with the Blade Runner franchise, it is based on a book by Philip K. Dick called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Also known for creating the book based off of the man behind the. I don't know. It's the Nazi show on Amazon.
What are you talking about?
Philip K. Dick.
He wrote that as well. It has nothing to do with this book or movie. It's a separate book.
I'm just saying for the
wrote
audience.
both.
In reference. I'm trying to remember the
He
name
also
of
wrote
it.
The Man in
though.
the High Castle,
Thank you.
which became an Amazon original series, which is
That has nothing to do with the book.
This
Almost.
has nothing to do with the book almost, or it takes totally different turns anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's all about humanity and different things and being sentient beings and thinking and feeling. If you can think and feel and you are like a robotic machine, what makes you
Human.
what makes you not a human and things like that? And so you see, and they set up in this world this sort of slavery thing with these androids who become somewhat equal to humans. They're usually physically superior and things like that. And you have Harrison Ford, who is like may or may not be, depends on which cut you watch and who's reading it. You know, he definitely wasn't an android in the book. But
And
this
this
movie, I don't want to say it has potential because, you know, it is a really good movie and should be respected for what it is. But 2049 is what I came here to talk about.
Right.
Because, dear God, like...
It's good.
Yeah, I feel so bad. Did you watch it on
Yes.
your laptop first?
No, I watched it with my family on the TV.
Yeah, and I watched it at home.
I wish I
and
saw
then,
it in the theaters.
Yeah,
but
and then I just felt so... Yeah, like, this movie right here, it's slow, but it's got a lot of subtlety. It's really good. The score is good. They built this whole world. There's different things about the drag. There's somewhat ambiguity. Blade Runner 2049 wraps everything up. There's no true ambiguity. You know, it tells a complete story, and it can stand on its own in some way.
It's not like...
It gives every character, you know, the thing they need. And I think it's a perfect movie. And also, the
I'd
most
give it a
exciting
10.
Oscar win for me, Roger Deakins, cinematographer of Blade Runner 2049,
He
nominated 14 times. He's already going to be one of the best cinematographers in history. You know, he's done this,
Did he win that?
Sicario, No Country for Old Men. Yeah, he won this week.
That's what I thought, and he deserved it.
No, by far.
He deserves it
Because like
so
everyone,
much.
the entire like film nerd community, they're like, if he loses, we riot tonight.
We ride.
Yeah. But yeah, and you can see, and then Roger Deakins is, I don't know, 60s or 70s. But you know, it's a true master of craft. And like I said, I wish I had the 2049 thing,
Copy.
but
Ah,
yeah,
it's a movie.
I don't have enough money in my pocket yet.
Yeah. So let's get into the kind of the differences between this movie and 2049, or the first and 2049.
Okay.
Because in terms of like world building and that special effects, for one, I don't agree with it at all. But a lot of people online say that they actually think that the special effects in the first one seem more real than in the second one. I disagree.
I don't know
But I
about
see
all
where
that.
they're coming from because
They're both
holy crow.
great as far as the special effects and stuff, especially for the time,
Mm-hmm.
like pulling this movie out and then seeing, you know, watching other sci-fi movies. If you've seen the original Tron, and then you'll pull it out and be like, "What is this?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
and then you pop this one in, and you think this was made in like 2005.
or something,
When-
but you know, it
was
has the look
early
about
80s.
it, but nothing looks fake about it. It's not like when you watch Indiana Jones, you can tell you have the cartoon lightning in the background. Like this is
Yeah.
a very grounded, real place built from the world up, and then you got 2049 that takes all those elements and adds to them.
It's such a not dated movie for how dated it could have been.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah, well, there are certain things that don't totally work. So
What do you mean?
there's the whole romance with Harrison Ford and Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say Decker. There's a Decker and Rachel, if I'm going to say her character name. But yeah, Richard Decker, Blade Runner, supposed to be really good, even though he struggles a lot in the movie. Some of that is kind of weird, but, you know, and it doesn't totally work, I feel like, in the original Blade Runner. And it's kind of wooden. It's but there, you know, you can definitely feel her pain. Is like, you know, Rachel is an android and doesn't know it for the longest time, and then, you know, you have put this thing about memories, and do memories make us human? And she finds out, she thinks that she's lived an entire life, but she's really only a couple years old, but has all her memories implanted and
Can I
created.
just, if there's one direct reason why the theatrical cut sucks, it's that the ending
Oh yeah,
where basically.
because I watched
for
the
those of
final
you who have
cut
not
first,
seen it,
and then I went and watched it, and I was like, oh my god.
it's such a that is okay. Not to spoil too much, but
We'll spoil the original one.
yeah, that's fine.
Let's do that.
Like the way that the way that the original theatrical version ends with such a glaring plot hole that wasn't supposed to be in there in the first place. It was the studio.
Which plot hole?
The whole replicants cannot, like, their design. It's impossible for them to live a full life. And yet, at the very end, it says, "But Rachel's a special replicant. She can live a full life."
That was the thing.
It was like the studio
but
forced
she
him
was-
to put it in there.
Well, that's the thing about Harrison Ford, though, and that's also why he struggles, and there's ambiguity if he's a replicant or not. He was in the book. Well, was Decker a replicant or not? And then there's some certain things they put in there, and it makes you think. And then Ridley Scott, I've seen an interview, went on record, he goes, he's a replicant, like that. So pretty much he is. But so the thing with Harrison Ford's character, Richard Decker, is that he's a replicant, didn't know it, and they've been using him to hunt down and kill his own kind. But
Yeah.
also, he's an older model, so he doesn't have, this automatic shutdown device, which is the whole thing with the ones they're looking for in the original Blade Runner. And then Blade Runner 2049 just builds all that stuff, and then, they don't even talk about Harrison Ford, and if that much or give that much, because it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter to the story.
Well, they mention it in 2049, where they heavily imply, basically tell the audience he's a replicant, and he just goes, he doesn't make a response that says it doesn't matter.
Well, he says we were hunted in the trailer.
Yeah.
And that's,
But yeah, again, even that doesn't
But
matter
also
too
you
much.
could
It's
say
minor
because he's
point.
like leaving with Rachel, but everything about 2049, and I've watched like several video essays on this, and just like it makes me respect it so much more. Like that, no, like 2049 is like a perfect movie for me. Like it's a slow burn. Some people say it's slow. It's really long.
It's long, but it doesn't feel that long.
Every acting performance is amazing. So one of the things I added in with Deckard to make it interesting is like in the book, he is really good at his job, but in this he's kind of like in the original Blade Runner from 1984, I think. I don't know if that's the year's accurate. He struggles. He struggles with some of these other replicants, and he's getting beat up in the streets, and he's kind of this old man type thing. But in the new 2049, there's no ambiguity about it, at least not at the beginning or anything, that Ryan Gosling's character is indeed a replicant, and he's a newer replicant. Has superior things. He can read thousands and thousands of pages within like 3 seconds, and then he's like skillfully trained in everything. So he has like no struggle physically, and he's a bad dude. But that's not about it. So like the conflict and suspense isn't from like the physical conflict. It's all on the like emotional, philosophical, that sort of side of things, which I like that so much more. It's just like that's not a thing. It's not like because he's not worrying if someone will kill him or he'll get beat up. It's all about his internal struggles, and I like that so much.
It's good. But then you watch the theatrical version, and it's so much,
What are you talking about? I'm talking about 2049.
Oh. Well, yeah, too. Because a lot of the first one's also about his internal struggle.
Well, yeah. I mean, kind of, but not much. But Ryan Gosling's character, Kay, has so much more of an arc, and then the characters in this movie, and the things that are happening in real life right now that are aged upon, and the thing with his girlfriend.
That's a weird.
The hologram girlfriend.
Yeah, he has like a holographic.
Some people are like, that
girlfriend.
was weird. I'm like,
well,
I thought it was amazing.
Well, yeah, it's so cool because it kind of it's the central point of the movie.
I wasn't into the movie Her, the Spike Jonze Her.
Right. Not a lot of people know that. I can't remember the first actress to play Samantha in that, but Scarlett Johansson was like a last-minute addition to that. It was a completely different actress, and Spike Jonze changed it last minute.
Why?
Because he's Spike Jonze and he's a psychopath.
I don't know.
He's like a super paranoid and a perfectionist when it comes to his movies.
Yeah, but that movie did certain things that I didn't really understand as far as like her aspect, and then like she grows and develops, and that movie specifically about this guy's relationship with like an artificial intelligence, and I didn't understand the like it evolved to like have desire and to want to learn and understand things, I guess, but more of like there's different things like in 2049, then you have these heartbreaking realizations. They keep dropping these little things, and you just see him just get the crap kicked out of him,
Yeah.
just like him losing his I don't know what's normal and right, or like what the thing is.
It is like so much like the struggle of my entire identity is gone, and I have no idea how to build it back up again.
Yeah, and then that's what I watched a video essay, and the original one was like, what does it mean to be human, and this one's about like what it means to have humanity, and then
it's really just trying to pick up the pieces.
And there's so many things that happen, and there's correlation with these different biblical themes, and then it kind of cuts back and forth between these different things, and I don't want to spoil it.
Right.
But there's a character who is kind of mixed up, but then Ryan Gosling Kay has his realization, and then it's all about the doing and experiencing and and then there's Roy Batty in the original one, Teardrops in the Rain speech, and there's the different thing with Ryan Gosling, like in the snow falling. It's just like some of the most perfect shots ever. Like,
the weird bird.
I've seen this movie a total of one time, but it may be like one of my favorite movies of all time.
2049.
2049.
Yeah, I mean it's fantastic.
No.
I don't know if I'd call it one of my favorites, but I'm sure if I saw it multiple times, it'd be like, okay.
I want to show it to my mom, but I know that I don't think she'd get through that movie. Because that movie kind of takes, like, a lot of people aren't into that, but I feel like the new one, 2049, the main goal, Denis Villeneuve, we have not said his name yet. I think he's one of the best working directors today. Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, now 2049.
Arrival was fantastic. We should do an Arrival episode.
I love Arrival. I think it should have won Best Picture. That was what I was rooting for.
After it ended, I was just like,
I watched it like 3 times, and it's like it deserved it. I'm glad La La Land didn't win, but Arrival should have been. That was my pick at the time. But then again, I hadn't seen the movie. Then I watched it. I was like, well, it's pretty solid. So I wasn't mad about it. Like, you ever have that feeling where you're kind of mad about something, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm cool with this.
Totally.
Because that's a very well directed and very artful movie with some really great shots, and it's like, well, there's a lot of correlations between like Italian neorealism and stuff where they like do things that they don't get real actors. So there's different parts of the movie where they go to these criminal neighborhoods. So instead of like hiring actors to play drug dealers, they're like, no, let's go get real drug dealers, and they're like, all right, just do what you do. All right, but let's get out of that. Off topic. Denis Villeneuve is like a master craftsman, and he did not, Roger Deakins won Best Cinematography Award, totally deserved. He did not get nominated, Denis Villeneuve, for Best Director. It's one thing, not Best Picture, but what? Like that movie's amazing.
This episode is basically just.
This movie is called Worth Loves 2049.
The underrated nature.
Ryan Gosling kills it.
2049.
What's her name? Princess Bride, Ginny Gump. Lady from House of Cards. I'm totally blanking on her name right now.
I don't.
She's like one of the best actresses there is. You know what I'm talking about. She's also.
I mean, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name either.
I'm blanking.
Yeah.
There's also a strong female cast in 2049.
Well, yeah, which is weird because a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, this is such a misogynist movie."
I don't get it. I've seen like video things that I have not clicked on to watch them, but I don't know how that could really be.
Because it's just like there's a lot of like violence against women. But that's just because there's violence against everybody.
But there's a violent woman in the movie.
Yeah, and there's a
these are
violent
killers.
woman.
Well, she's not a woman. She's a robot.
Well, she's
a replicant.
Yeah, she's a female replicant.
Yeah.
But still, it's not like these are just like weak like damsels in distress or anything.
No,
these are strong
badass.
characters. Yes, exactly.
That's
they just happen to.
It's
good.
Get hurt. It's killer.
Because of course they do, because they're human.
Yeah, and then there's a particular thing that goes down with Ryan Gosling and a female cast member. But the thing is that they're superior, superhuman replicants.
Yes.
They're like, if Spider-Man and She-Hulk get in a fight, you can't be like, you can't do that. They're like, she's just as strong. Like, she can win, 5 out of the 10 days of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that argument.
I don't understand it. I just don't see it.
I don't either. I mean, no, I think this has a great female cast.
I will say the first one isn't PC just because of the whole kind of forced relationship.
Yeah, that one is weird.
There's one scene in the first one where
that was what I was
rapey
pulling up earlier.
is a word that it pops into your head.
Yeah, it is, but he does it for a specific reason. I can't remember the time, but
I thought it was just.
I don't know if he's like trying to get her to experience something.
Yeah.
Or like trying to give her like a human experience.
It's not that Deckard's a rapist or anything.
No, I mean no. It's a weird scene.
In general.
It's a weird scene. Something happening in the editing bay.
Yeah.
You go, well, what's that? We've been going since 26 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So.
Let's talk about what is the overall point? Because there's a lot to unpack in these movies.
Yeah,
what do you think is the overarching point to these movies? And I'm just trying to say.
How do I answer that very briefly? We have 4 minutes. What is the point of life?
What is the
Can
point
robots
of
ever be
life?
as human as
What am I
us?
supposed to do with my life?
Do you think they'll kill us?
What
Do
does
you
it
think
mean
they'll
being a
evolve to
Blade
have
Runner?
morality? I don't know.
I'd just say you can kind of sum it up in.
What does it mean to be human?
Exactly, and what does it mean to be human?
Also, don't want to spoil it because it's kind of like, but kind of in the movie is like, the experience through feelings and stuff, and there's so much, and they talk about the weavings of patterns, and so in 2049, Ryan Gosling's character, and I think a thing like a lot of great filmmakers do is they'll take a particular situation, and they'll visit it one spot in the movie, and then by the time if you ever return to that set piece or this type of situation, things have totally changed, and I've watched things from like the way Ryan Gosling is broken down from the opening scene into this part and this part, and it's like this great evolution of character. And then he's like evolving to like this sentient, thinking, living, and then he doesn't know how to kind of cope with that. It's like, and he's kind of bummed out about it. It's kind of like the ignorance is bliss, and you're like before sometimes it's better to be stupid so you'd be happy. But so he's like dealing with these things, but eventually like it's kind of an uplifting movie. Whereas like in the first Blade Runner, I'll spoil it, they kind of just go on the run. And you're like, what? And people, it's a weird cliffhanger ending. I don't know if it's particularly negative. It's kind of negative. Then they throw in, they're like, everything was perfect.
A happy ending.
We drove a 1983 Corvette because those were still around back then.
We lived happily. She lived a full life,
Yeah.
and so did I.
We got to start doing impressions on this show. We did a lot of Jimmy Stewart impressions last week.
Oh.
What? How long have we been gone?
We got like a few minutes. Let's just sum it up real quick. You say that 2049 is a perfect movie. What would you say about the first one?
The first one?
How does it fall in comparison to the second one?
I would say story. So this one like lays out a lot of philosophical themes on the table, but it never attempts to answer any. So
it's kind of like left up to you.
It just kind of like posts these things in your face. That's why like I don't know how your feelings about the movie Fight Club is. I like it. All right.
I love Fight Club.
All right. I think it's okay.
All right.
I don't know. It's a really well directed and made movie, but as far as the overall like movie itself, nothing to do with like, I thought it acted bad here. Nothing like that. But as far as the movie itself, it's just kind of like whatever. That's why I really like. Have you checked out Mr. Robot yet? Mr. Robot is kind of.
I've seen like.
Because
episodes.
Yeah, because Fight Club, they're like, let's burn the world, and so Mr. Robot is like, let's burn the world, and then it's like they also get into the aftermath. They're like, oh shit, we burned the world.
Yeah.
What do we do now? So there are things like that. So that's how I feel this is kind of in that total not Fight Club. It's not in the Fight Club thing because, there's no twist.
Right.
Well, there is kind of a twist.
No, there is a twist, yeah.
There is a twist.
Especially in 2049.
And then 2049 is set up and you don't notice it as a noir, but it's built as this mystery and, Harrison Ford is kind of tracking people down, but he doesn't do a lot of great detective work. He does that weird voice. I don't know. He talks to the stripper, and he's like, "Hello, my name is." Do you remember that?
I think
He's like going undercover to talk to a replicant who's like posing as a stripper. Then he just talks in a really high voice for almost no reason. Like he's
I
like,
don't
"I
remember
work
that
for
at
the
all.
newspaper." And I don't know.
that might not be in the theater. I've only seen the theatrical version.
It's weird.
For-
Okay, but yeah, Ryan Gosling's doing serious philosophical, moral detective work, and then it slowly unravels. It's the epitome of like just a movie unraveling.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, I agree. It's kind of like a Kaiser Sose moment.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
like
I wouldn't say
partway
that.
through the end. Not like to that level.
Not
of course,
in the
but
twisty way, but it's like it's not like it's the slowly building. It's taking apart this beautiful origami, and you can look at and appreciate.
No, that's what I mean. Like Kaiser Sose, because it like in his case, it unravels literally at the very end, and it just explodes.
Yep.
Whereas this is more like a slow, but it expands and it unravels.
Really
Down to the nitty gritty.
The Kaiser Sose movie for me.
What?
I'm kidding. I said you spoiled the Kaiser Sose movie for me. No, but this movie, I haven't been super, like I said, new one, 2049. I love it a lot. If it were a standalone movie, it would probably be one of my favorites, if not my all-time favorite. But because it is a sequel, it kind of, I don't know, weirdly retracts some value because it's a sequel, so it has a standalone. Because it pays off. Because I want my mom to watch it. but I don't know if I can get her to watch that and just want to watch the other one. But I know she'd like the new one. But it does pay off some certain things. So like the Rachel Richard Decker relationship is okay in the first one, but like 2049 they make it look way better than it is, and then that's part of a plot moment, and then certain things revealed.
I say screw you. I say both of them are perfect. I say play the first one.
No, they're both pretty awesome.
Yeah, at least I'm sure the final cut, because again I've only seen the theatrical version, and I've looked up the changes, and I'm like, okay, take out all this stuff, and you got yourself a perfect movie.
It's pinnacle science fiction.
Yeah, no.
It rocks. It rules.
It's great. Watch it, guys.
I can't be Blade Runner original final cut 4 to 5.
I'd say 5 out of 5.
9 out of 10, and 2049 is definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. I love that movie so much. That's got a great score. They both have great scores.
And we got a 10 out of 10 for 2049.
Yeah, we've been on here for like 32 minutes or something like that.
That's the average length of our episode.
Yeah, it's about 32. All right, that is it for this week. I don't know what we're doing next week.
We're going to be doing, trying to think of a joke one to do. Corey in the House.
Corey in the House,
The best
episode
anime of all
5.
time.
Mr. Feeney comes back to town.
Woo!
All right, thank you, everyone.
Same bad
Mainly
time, same
Scout.
bad channel.